I'm Danny Otto. Welcome into an all-new episode of That Recap Show. Now, before we get into the episode, just want to issue major spoiler alert. We are going to be going over everything that happened in episode 3 of Peacemaker Season 2. So if you haven't watched that episode yet, you may want to pause this video, head over to HBO Max, check out that episode, and then come back and enjoy the breakdown. Now, with that out of the way, let's start the show.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
All right, joining with me to break down everything from episode 3 of Peacemaker Season 2, it's Jon Rico.
Hello.
Hello. I learned so much about crows this episode.
I think I learned a lot about crows. I hope some of it was factual.
I'm believing it all is true.
Yeah. Me too.
They can bend a paperclip or unfold a paperclip and use it to stab things.
The most reliable sources. Vigilante.
That is slowly becoming some of my favorite, just like, has nothing to do with the plot, has nothing to do with anything. It's just every episode I feel like we're getting like more of him talking about different animals and stuff. This was like he because I'm not proud to admit that I actually like spiders.
Yeah. Like, oh, very brave of you, sir. Very brave.
But like, and then later on he's getting tested in the bathroom by Economist talking about spiders, and he answers, and Economist goes,
Tarantulas have 8 eyes.
Shit.
You said that so confidently, I had to actually look back at my phone.
Like, that was my favorite.
The definition of fake it till you make it, man.
Yeah.
Like, all you need to do is just say things a little bit confident. It can get you so far.
Oh man, yeah. I those are slowly becoming some of my favorite parts of every episode. Is just these asides with Vigilante that absolutely have nothing to do with the story or the plot or anything that's happening. It's just
same.
Let's just get rid of him for a second. Like,
those are some of the best parts of season 1 too, were just those random conversation scenes that they had.
But I feel like they just let him go so much more in this season. Like with Quiz Me on Owls, like just anything, like just seems like something like he just made up on the spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much happened in this episode. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much because I know there's so much we're going to talk about with takeaways and predictions and stuff like that. But just glossing it over, we finally got, more of Peacemaker actually exploring the other Earth, type of thing. But
Earth
then we also,
Earth
2 for now. But we also got a lot of insight from, what was happening with our characters that we're normally following on Earth 1 in the meantime, in his absence and stuff like that. I really liked how they kind of set up that dynamic going where there's the storyline is progressing and all these different parts are kind of at the same time.
Yeah, we got a few different kind of like subplots happening, which is
exactly
nice.
Yeah. I think it makes it really way more interesting because now you're thinking about all of these different things and they're all kind of and we've said this. I can't even remember if it's I've said it before or if you've said it before or we both said it before. I can really appreciate when we have these series or movies that build these universes as if it is real life where things are all happening, at the same time. It's not just like, oh, well, this is happening and all of this was on pause until the main character came back type of thing. It's like, no, all of these things are happening, which is like adding to like the chaos that is about to unfold when everything starts to collide and everything like that happens. Like
you got moving pieces happening in different places, but they're going to converge at some point. And you can feel it start to build as they like, especially by the end of this episode too, you could feel it as well. But yeah, it's really cool to kind of see it all kind of like all the groundwork being laid out.
Yeah. And I mean, we got a little bit more with kind of the newer cast members, but also we had the return of one of the cast members from season 1, which we already knew he was coming back, but the way he was brought back just makes me so hopeful for what some interactions of the future. And I'm talking about Judo Master.
Who the fuck is Rip Jagger? Hey, fatty.
Fuck!
Mick Jagger.
Yeah. Never will we get his real name. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But also, we just get that really quick, just in like throwing him back that he's back type of thing, and Economos' reaction. And that is the greatest way I think they could have, just thrown him back into the season and back into the fold of everything. Is just having that instant reaction of fuck. Like,
poor Economos, man. Like his whole character arc this season is just him being paired with people that like he hates, like whether it's Flurry or now Judo Master. He's just like, man, I get somebody I like around me at least.
Well, to be fair, he did have an out. He was like, well, I'm not going to do that. And they were like,
you're going to be fired. You're like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, yeah, he's definitely made his choices, but it's kind of funny how he just keeps taking L after L as far as his team.
Yeah, look, part of me thinks that Economos is really keeping the job so that he can at least be able to alert Adebayo and the rest of the team.
Man on the inside.
That he's like, this is what they're planning, this is what they're doing, get out of there. Like,
Probably how he gets his access to being the guy in the chair kind of a thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
So part of me is like he's doing that. It's a sacrifice so that he can, keep helping his friends. But the other part of me is just like, you could have just left. You could have just left. You knew where they were doing already. Like, just okay, I'm gone. I quit then.
Yeah.
Like, and then
the end of the day, he needs the job.
yeah. No, I get it. And that, I mean, we have the other characters.
Look at Hardcore.
Yeah, exactly.
She was looking at the pharmacy job openings.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, so I just thought that was such a hilarious way to just go, yeah, remember Judo Master? He's back. Like, just that quick introduction type of thing. Also has nothing really to do with the plot, up until now at least. But I am excited to see his interactions because I'm really hoping now that he instantly started talking, whereas like in the first season we kind of had more of him attacking and being more silent, like just being way more like not soft spoken because he wasn't quiet, but just more of like a chose his words.
Yeah.
And didn't
the only time
really
he really spoke to them was when he had them held captive in the bar. But when they had him captive, he wasn't saying nothing to them.
Exactly.
He just wanted to kick their asses.
So what I'm really hoping is that we get Economos and Judo Master in the van at some point, just verbally going back and forth, because I just think that would be such a funny interaction. Like, I can't wait to hopefully get some of that. And then maybe even
friends.
Yeah. and then maybe even him and Peacemaker, like Judo Master and Peacemaker, just verbally going back and forth type of thing, I think would be hilarious also.
Oh yeah. Especially given their history.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm really hoping that like instead of just like, instantly fighting, we get like verbally back and forth, just kind of annoying each other all the time. Like I
don't want to be like, I was kicking your ass until Adebayo shot me.
Right. Exactly. So
good.
I'm really hoping we get that kind of interaction. But yeah, there's so much to go over in this episode, just because like I said, we had different storylines going at the same time, and it's just there's a lot to unpack. So before I get ahead of myself, Rico, what were some of your instant reactions for episode 3?
Yeah, I really enjoyed kind of going the back and forth between Earth 1 and Earth 2 right here with all the different kind of plot lines we got going on. I like that one. I gotta give a little shout out to Jen Hong, who plays Hardcore, because she's turning in like 2 different performances of Hardcore in the season. So it's a great range of her character, because she was always kind of like the serious one in the first season and stuff like that. But now we get to see kind of like the more light side of her from Earth 2, and so it's really cool to kind of see the balance of the character and what we could actually see from the Earth 1 Hardcore if we give it a chance. That she kind of lets people in, so I think that was really cool. But and there's another part I like seeing kind of Peacemaker just kind of like absorbing, like just being in that whole world and stuff like that. John Cena just continues to get better and better. I think each episode there's some great stuff with him and stuff, especially between him and Key. There's a great scene between those two. But yeah, again, more of the walk and talk stuff has been some of my favorite scenes, and this was no different. The scene where they're coming out of the hospital, and it's immediately Flurry saying that Economos was exploiting his bird blindness disease.
Is it funny? Yeah, very. But you almost got titties killed.
Like, is it funny? Yeah, very. But you almost got titties killed. And he just says it with such a sincerity that like only Tim Meadows can deliver like that. And I'm so glad that he's in the show. And then immediately following that, you got the introduction of Michael Rooker's character, who's going to be the nemesis of Eagly, as they say, which is just like But even funnier was his whole thing about we're gonna kill every eagle in the vicinity afterwards, and Sasha Bordeaux's like no, and he's just like no. Like just those stupid little silly moments are what always get me, and yeah, I'm just there's so many. Like we keep talking about how many different character interactions I'm looking forward to seeing, and Flurry really with anybody I'm looking forward to seeing. But I think right now, Peacemaker is definitely someone I want to see him go back and forth with. Hell, Judo Master and Flurry going back and forth just seems like a funny dynamic. And then, of course, Vigilante and Flurry. I think those two would be just like, one talking about birds. Like, just imagine Vigilante talking about crows. And then, like, Tim Meadows, Flurry would just be like, I don't know what a crow really looks like. But my friends got attacked by a duck one time, and it was very scary. Like, it was, and then I could just see like Vigilante just being like, "Oh wow, that does sound scary."
Yeah,
like it would just be super super funny. But yeah, the balance of like comedy scenes in this, of course. There's some great action of this in this episode, and then some really great just kind of like one-on-one character moments between Peacemaker and Hardcore. I think that's really cool what they explore on the Earth 2 stuff, and just kind of like that relationship. It's just kind of cool to see those two characters interacting on a more of a sincere level, as opposed to just kind of like there's more of like I don't know, some kind of resentment between them, of course. But and also the stuff between him and Keith, of course, that's a great scene between them two. There's a great scene between Autobio and Hardcore. I think that's a really good one-on-one too. That might help forward Hardcore's character arc a little bit. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good moving pieces happening here, and then it ends on a nice little kind of like cliffhanger of what to expect for next episode too. So yeah, it's very very exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, and that leads perfectly into my takeaways. So you want to get to some big takeaways?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna kick off my big takeaway with a boom big reveal, because this is a big reveal that this whole episode actually starts with a flashback, and we know for a fact that this flashback is in DCU Earth 1, and this is a flashback with Rick Flag Jr. and our Hardcore, which is pretty crazy. Also, this is a lighter side of Hardcore too, because we see her smiling a bunch. You know what I mean? Like this is pre-Suicide, the Suicide Squad, Rick Flag Jr. and Hardcore, and they're friends. Looks like maybe more than friends.
Oh yeah, definitely seems like they were an item.
But she says like you're my only friend and stuff like that. So like they use friend. I think they use friend very lightly, or very loosely, I guess. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So not only, I mean, so we got like reveals inside reveals. So I'll try to make it make sense as without making it confusing. So we had two versions of Rick Flag Jr. in this episode. An Earth 1, which is pre the Suicide Squad events.
Yeah.
And that is where we find out, Hardcore's history with Rick Flag Jr., which is crazy to kind of find that out, but also leads and it explains so much about why she has so many problems with Peacemaker.
In
general. Because obviously she has to know. There's no way she doesn't know that he.
Well, she wants to kill him basically, but she can't because she's forced to be on a team with him by Waller, which that just shows like how Waller is as a person, probably knowing that her and Flag were a thing, and then puts her on a team with the one that killed Flag, which is pretty brutal on Waller's part.
But what adds to this craziness of the episode is that when we go to Earth 2, we see that Hardcore and Rick Flag Jr. are a couple.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's kind of more of like a bumbling
idiot, kind of like a nerdy guy, as opposed to like the alpha male version of him from the Rick Flag from Earth 1. Yeah.
Right. Which I honestly have other thoughts and other theories about that maybe we can get into more for theories that might, be more steps down the line about this Earth 2 universe and stuff like that. But I have some thoughts about that, but it just seems so funny that Hardcore is like so quick to kind of offer that, like, if Peacemaker truly has changed, she's willing to start dating him again. But they're like fucking married, aren't they? Like,
I don't know if they're married, but they might be like just like a committed relationship.
I could have swore they said the word married. I could be wrong. Maybe. I could be wrong, but it was definitely alluded to being a serious relationship. So like she's willing to throw that away so quick. Like would have done it sitting there, like in the park almost before the explosions and that whole thing happened, but was absolutely willing to do it after he took out all of the fighters and stuff like that. So
I think James Gunn said they referred to Earth 2 hardcore as Thirst Court because she just like she just wants all the dude. She wants Red Flag Jr. She wants Peacemaker after she had that little heart to heart. She just wants everyone.
but yeah, it's really interesting. So like I said, we got a reveal inside of a reveal with that, and it just kind of puts more context on the character of hardcore in general. And the relationship between Earth 1 and Earth 1 hardcore and Earth 1 Peacemaker, our Peacemaker, both our characters basically from the team. And how honestly, I think you saying she wanted to kill him in the first season makes sense. But I think now she's seen his growth, she's seen him as a person, she's seen all of this stuff and how regretful he is for doing that to begin with, that I'm more thinking that she's more wrestling with herself about, having feelings for, about having emotions for somebody who did kill her own, like in her words, her only friend type of thing. Versus, fighting the urge to kill him. I don't think that's an urge anymore type of thing, just after seeing how much regret he had for that and how much he's, trying to change and be a better person and stuff like that. So, and
oddly enough, how many more friends she got out of that situation too, at the same time. So
exactly.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a lot to wrestle with. And yeah, him like staying by her bedside too after she got injured and all that. So it's like, yeah, she got to know the guy, even though the guy did a pretty bad thing, for her personally. So yeah.
And I mean,
a lot to wrestle with.
Yeah, what's crazy is it's kind of, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of almost speaking for the audience, because I remember putting myself in the shoes, like watching the Suicide Squad, and you in that movie, you like Rick Flag Jr.
Oh yeah,
Peacemaker is kind of the dick.
Yeah.
But like Peacemaker is kind of the dick of all of that. He's not like, this is the guy that I like better than Rick Flag Jr. You like Rick Flag Jr. better. He is a better person in general type of thing, and kind of pulls this group together and does all this stuff. And then when Peacemaker kills him in that movie, you're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
I remember that. And then I remember hearing about them doing a series on Peacemaker going, how the fuck is anyone going to give a shit about this guy? Like, I remember having those feelings. So in a way, this is almost like we're like experiencing the same thing that hardcore did. Like, we have grown to see Peacemaker completely differently after these events and stuff like that.
So how those events shaped him as a person too.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's pretty crazy that they were able to kind of embody that with the character of hardcore and the audience at the same time, like showing kind of how, you grew to understand the Peacemaker character, and now how hardcore is kind of grown to understand him as a person and stuff like that. It's just, it's so interesting that they were able to kind of do that and kind of
very layered.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's really interesting. But yeah, I could go on and on about this, but I'm interested to see, what happens with Rick Flag Jr. 2, I guess. Rick Flag Jr. alternate in this dimension and stuff like that. I know we're gonna get more on this Earth, and I'm just very curious if he's gonna be, I don't want to allude to it yet. Well, I'll allude to it. I don't want to say it yet. If he is more than what he seems,
right?
Like, I'm just wondering. But before I get too far ahead, Rico, what were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, one of the things I liked in that the flashback scene was they also allude to June, who is the Enchantress as well from the first Suicide Squad, the David Ayer one. Whether or not they are referencing that particular one, I doubt it. I think it's just really like nice of them to be like, yeah, well, the Enchantress is still like kind of out there as a character,
right?
And so I think that's just kind of like just part of his history. Like, yeah, he was in love with like this metahuman girl before he met hardcore, before the Corto Maltese mission and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. So I just like that they acknowledge that character in general, like there's an Enchantress out there basically. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But man, I think one of my favorite scenes in general, outside of the walk and talk scene out of the hospital with the flurry and all that, is the sequence of Peacemaker taking out the Sons of Liberty in the what was it, the town hall, whatever it was they were at.
Yeah.
But one, some very gruesome kills, and I've alluded to the Peacemaker podcast before, but Joel Kinnaman, who plays Rick Flag Jr., was on the one for this episode, and it was just funny. He goes, like, I feel bad for that little malnourished dude, the first guy that Peacemaker kills with the axe, because one, like the delayed like brain reaction to everything, and then if he finally goes, it's pretty brutal. But yeah, that guy looked like he could have just gotten like punched in the head, and you could have killed him with it. Like it felt like he got a little bit of excessive force. I think he said Kinnaman was like, yeah, I felt a little bit like bully. Like, he goes, but man, just brutal death in general. But then also the pencil death where he just meshes the guy's brains and was pretty nasty as well. But yeah, everybody gets taken out in some pretty brutal way. But I just like that Peacemaker. It reminded me of the Suicide Squad scene when him and Bloodsport are going back and forth, like competitively, like killing people that end up being freedom fighters. So I think that's some funny stuff. But he had that same kind of like just like deadpan like face that he has, where it's just kind of like the frowny, angry face, and then you just kind of at the end, he's just kind of like, yeah, I did it. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, I just like the way that they always choreograph those kind of scenes, and of course, it's always set to some great songs too. But there, it wasn't that particular scene, but there, I think earlier when he's riding the bike through, they have it set to Ozzy Osbourne's "Dreamer." And I think that was pretty cool when he's kind of going through the other. I think it's the second song called "Dreamer" they've used this season for a scene. But yeah, I thought that was just a really well done scene, just kind of him absorbing in the area of like this world and just kind of enjoying it a lot. But yeah, those are just kind of two of my favorite scenes that happen in this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm trying not to go into theories before we get to predictions and actually start about theories, but like I do think a lot of like that scene where he's riding around and he's going best universe ever or best dimension ever or whatever he actually says, like I think they're building it up so that we get that inevitable like turn of like, oh shit.
Oh, it's too good to be true.
Yeah, this is not a good. This
100%.
is not the good place. Like,
yeah, 100%.
But yeah,
I was almost expecting. Sorry to cut you off, but I was almost expecting that when he was done with like killing the Sons of Liberty, they would have been like, dude, what the fuck? Like that was way too much. Like we don't do that or something like that. You'll be like, oh, like I was expecting, but it was more like he just tried like a normal, like yeah, he did. He took him out. That was pretty cool.
Well, when his brother just flew through the helicopter and blew it up, I was like, no, they don't really care about collateral damage. Like it does not matter. Like it landed. Right. Yeah, it landed somewhere in the town and blew something else up too, and no one even batted an eye.
Almost like the boys universe, kind of a neighbor universe here.
Right. So like clearly everyone's just used to it. Like collateral damage is collateral damage type of thing. But yeah, there was so much to unpack, and I have fallen down so many rabbit holes with people's theories and stuff like that. So you want to get to some predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. All right, why don't you kick off predictions?
Okay, so I have a funny question in regards to Earth 2. I know there's quite a few versions of characters from Earth 1 that we have not seen in Earth 2 yet. Of course, we have not met Earth 2 Vigilante, which I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting and seeing what he's like. I wonder if he's just as weird and kooky as he is on Earth 1. But also, like, where the fuck is Eagly? And like, I wonder if like I can see a practical reason why he's not there yet, because I think really like Earth 1, Chris has like this. Has Eagly just so he's not alone, because he doesn't have his brother Chris with or Keith with him anymore. But so that he probably doesn't have to see a need for Eagly in the situation. So I can see that as a possible reason there. But more on a serious note, I really can't wait to see more of like Peacemaker and David Denman as his brother Keith. I remember David Denman mostly as Roy from The Office. I think it's really cool to kind of see him like just like. He's got the shaved head, so he's got a little of a different look. But they actually, I can buy him and Cena actually like being brothers too. So there's a really great one-on-one scene between them that's pretty emotional. I think that, again, just like another great showcasing of how much Cena has developed as an actor, I think. And so I'm looking forward to see how that whole brother arc is going to play out. Because I just feel like I feel like it's going to come down to some situation where he might have to kill his brother again in some form. And that's always been like the thing where like, and of course it happened to him in his life when they were kids in Earth 1, but having to do it again as an adult when he probably hopefully like realistic what kind of a person he is, or maybe just some reason where they come to blows and it's just gonna end up killing him in some form. Yeah, I'm I don't know if I want to say excited, but I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing how that plays out because I know it's gonna be one very action packed, but also probably very brutal and as far as emotions go for him.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that when it comes to people confronting kind of like the ghosts of their past. It's gonna be a big theme going on this season for multiple characters. So yeah, it's gonna very interesting way they've kind of set up the formula for thematically for this season.
Yeah, and kind of just building right off of that, I was just going to talk about there's so many new theories, and this is what I really appreciate about being able to follow, series like this week to week, because there's so many people talking about ideas and looking at little things and analyzing little things that you can fall down rabbit holes in every different direction. So yeah, so one of them is, what if that is like kind of like a nexus? That's what we were saying before we even started recording, like a nexus event where Peacemaker ends up always having to, kill his brother.
Yeah.
I kind of see it as there are probably only two potential outcomes. And in both, I kind of see his brother dying. One, I see, yes, that it all comes to a head and he's trying to rescue Peacemaker's trying to rescue his friends from Earth 1 and finds out that, whatever the big reveal is to make Earth 2 not a good place, not the good place. And he has to, go through his dad and his brother to do this. Not wanting to kill either one of them, but having to, type of thing. And that being growth, choosing the family that he's put together now versus the family that, he was born into, type of thing. That being like a major growing moment and stuff like that. The other I could see is, and this would still be a scenario where I see his dad being a bad guy, is his brother having to sacrifice himself for Peacemaker and Peacemaker's friends getting out of there or something like that. Because we didn't have a lot of scenes with like the kids of Chris and his brother type of thing. We didn't have a lot of those, but in the scenes we did have, it looked like his older brother didn't want that life, like was trying to actively distract Chris from anything like that. Type of thing. So what if no matter what, in every single world, his brother does still have that protective like thing of his younger brother, of his little brother, even against his dad or even against the world that he knows, type of thing. So like, what if that ends up happening where his brother does end up having to sacrifice himself to help his pseudo brother, I guess, brother from a different world, like type of
Augie
thing.
is always going to be like a bad dude,
right?
Right.
I feel like with these, it's always like they're still gonna be essentially the same person, but like we're gonna see how whatever world affects that person and pulls them in different directions, type of thing. Like that, I feel like that's what we're gonna find out. Like these characters are all still like Hardcore. She's still the Hardcore that we saw at the very, very beginning of episode 3, where she was happy with Rick Flag Jr. and stuff like that. But because of the events of the Suicide Squad, it led her to be that closed off, that very angry. But she still had the muscles. She still had everything. It wasn't like she was a different person. It wasn't like she wasn't trained to do that kind of stuff. So like, I think it's really, we're going to see, these characters still have a default, but it's like the world around them is what affects them and makes them their different counterparts and stuff like that.
Nature and nurture.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, there were so many like theories, and now we're building off of more theories. I mean, the only thing we did get confirmed 100% was that Rick Flag Jr. in Earth 2 was the person that they mentioned that Hardcore was dating, type of thing. So we did get that got confirmed for sure. We still don't. We know something's fishy with the second Earth. We just don't know what that is yet. But there's just so many little hints and little clues here and there that like kind of lead to reasons. Even one I saw pointing to almost answering your question as to why there is no Eagly, and that being that this is the Earth X, the one where the world lost to the Germans, to the Nazis and stuff like that, meaning that the eagle never became a mascot for the United States, a representation of freedom and stuff like that. So they never used it. So it never became Peacemaker's, mascot and friend and co-teammate or whatever, however you want to say it. So that's like one of the theories I also saw as to why we don't see Eagly or anything like that. But
maybe Eagly belongs to somebody else.
Oh, that'd be interesting. What if it's a freedom fighter?
Or if it's vigilante? What if because he loves his animals? And
he's got
a pet eagle.
I saw a really crazy theory, and I have no idea if this has any ground or any basis, but I'll say it right now. And I really don't remember. I fell down rabbit holes on Reddit, on TikTok, and I may have even watched a clip or two on Instagram. So like everywhere. That what if somehow we find out there is no vigilante on Earth 2 because our vigilante is from Earth 2. And that's why he doesn't really know about certain animals and why he's like so like excited to do things and why he's like so hates Peacemaker's dad in season 1 because he hates Nazis and he hates that kind of society because he left that society.
That'd be interesting. That'd really explain how we got out there for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to imagine if there's the same version of him out there, but maybe he doesn't even fight crime, but he's just like a weird dude.
Yeah. I mean, they could very easily make him like a bank teller or you know what I mean? Like something like that, where he's like kind of has obsessive tendencies with Peacemaker still, or he's just like a huge, like an ultra fan or something like that.
Is there an Earth 2 Rick Flag Senior? I wonder. Like I'd be interested to kind of see.
Yeah. We didn't get any shots of like higher ups at Argus. It was also kind of weird that it kind of his brother made it sound like Chris worked at Argus, but then Chris had to get a visitor's badge at Argus. Or did I misunderstand that scene?
I think maybe so. Well, when he gets to Argus, I think Rick Flag Jr. comes up to him and he goes, "Oh, they called you in, but for something I didn't get called in for that either," or something like that. Okay. So like I guess they assumed that he got called in for something, but then he was like, "No, I'm just here to see Harcourt."
So maybe he's like an agent in the field type of thing, but he doesn't report
someone
to the
on
office.
Call for that. He's a hero, but like if Argus needs him, he'll work with them or something. Like
I see.
He's a known hero basically, so I think it's more like
when he was trying, when he was trying to figure out where Hardcore worked, he was like doing that thing to his brother. He's like, "Quick, pop quiz."
Yeah.
He asked him, "What's the address of mine and Hardcore's work?"
Yeah.
How would I know where Argus's address is? Or what Argus's address is? Oh, okay, Argus.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, it was.
I still think Eagly is the head of Argus too. But
let's just start wild theories. We can do whatever we want.
Maybe he talks. Who knows? I think it's possible. James Gunn can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. The last one that I was seeing, I mean, there's, like I said, so many, but the last one that I was seeing that I thought was really interesting because we have always, this is confirmed from James Gunn. No one has seen 6, 7, and 8 because there's going to be major, plot things there, and there's going to be, major cameos and stuff like that.
Superman 2 set up too.
Right. Yeah. And we've seen that, there were some photos with, the actor who plays Superman taking photos with John Cena dressed up as John Cena from Earth 2. Yeah. And with Adebayo and stuff like that. So one
could easily be them reshooting the intro. We don't know. Exactly. They were filming concurrently.
But what I did see, and I mean, it could honestly be he appears twice, but like what I was reading was, what if this is the Earth where the clone of Superman from just the Superman movie that we just had gets sent to when he gets pushed through. And he ends up being, working that and basically it's a universe where it's kind of like two different theories in one, but it's the universe that's established where the villains are the good guys and the good guys are the villains type of thing. Was it Crime Syndicate
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a crime syndicate for sure.
Yeah.
It's basically like the evil version of the Justice League.
Right. But they're kind of looked at as the good guys because of the universe. Everything's kind of flipped on its
Yeah,
axis
sort of.
type
But
of thing.
they're also doing like bad stuff, like just kind of openly, I think, too, at the same time. I can't remember
Oh, okay.
too much. I've read some crime syndicate stuff, but a lot of the characters are really just kind of like mirroring the main Justice League characters. I think there's the Ultraman is like the Superman version, of
Right.
course. And I think that was I think they call him Ultraman or something like that at some point. I think in Superman the movie, I think he refers to him as Ultraman, but it's like, and then they
Does
also refer
he?
to him as Bizarro. Yeah. I think actually, James Gunn refers to him as Ultraman when he's in the mask form, essentially. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's like, but he's really just like a clone made by Lex, not necessarily like the Ultraman. So he could end up being an Ultraman of that world if he wants to be, or they can bring him back as Bizarro, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking, like, I liked that theory because we are getting all this news that this is going to tie into bigger events and bigger things for the DCU. We have all of this, all of these kind of little threads that were left from the end of Superman, and you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we could be setting this up where we get, the crime syndicate versus whatever team, this our Superman, our DCU Superman could be setting up. And we could even get, like him and Peacemaker are teaming up at the end of this series just
That'd
to
be
like
crazy.
as a small event, but a prequel to a larger event, which kind of gets Superman thinking about having to make a team
Mhm.
of people to combat this threat when it actually happens, type of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's just so much. And that's, like I said, what I really like about being able to go week to week and having all of these theories and being able to hear everybody else's thoughts and
Mhm.
just kind of just be able to sit here and go, oh, that's interesting. Well, if that happened, what if that happened? And just like bouncing around. Yeah.
And then
I
new
can't.
ones come out the next week that either will cancel out the old ones
Right.
or will add just add more fuel to them.
Exactly. Like I mean, they're just giving us just enough of Earth 2 for us to have that theory, like all these theories still be alive. Nothing has confirmed or denied anything of that yet. Like, we don't know if these freedom fighters are actually going to end up turning out to be on the good side, type of thing. And we're just seeing it from the wrong perspective right now. Or if they really are bad guys and they're working for, Ultraman, and they're working for, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all of these things that could be happening and we have no idea yet. And it makes it so much more interesting week to week. And it makes me desperately want to see the next episode. So I cannot wait.
Very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. But in the meantime, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments below. What did you think of episode 3? And were any of your theories either proven true or false? And what are some of your main theories moving forward for the rest of this series? There really are no wrong answers yet, which is awesome. And it makes so much more interest in the next episode and the next episode and the next episode and the next episode. But don't forget, like, subscribe, and tune in to hear about all of our latest audio and video podcast releases. Bye, everybody!
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.